Hello and welcome to the RP Geeks. You are joining us here for Chapter 3 of Urchins!
Urchins!
Hooray! We are so excited to be back. We left things on an exciting cliffhanger last week. We will do a very speedy recap of the story so far. Break into a house, break into the house again. It's just, it's sort of just
breaking into houses, breaking out of houses, standard.
Next to house.
More houses. Just break into all the houses. We will be diving in soon, but first we should find out who our wonderful players and our wonderful characters are. My name's Shamini. I'm one of the RP Geeks. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be fate weaving today, weaving the fates of these three lovely ones. Let's start with Zack.
Hello, I'm Zack. I am playing Theodore, and both of us have he, him pronouns. Just a little scamp, the eldest of the three, and certainly not yelling at grown people on the streets as we speak.
No.
No.
Fiona.
Oh, hello. My name is Fiona. She, her pronouns, as does Eddie, the youngest of the scamps, and clearly is like the sweetheart of everyone's hearts. Eddie talks to pigeons. No one else believes her. So that's been fun. And yeah, I'm definitely not having an argument with someone in the street, but I'm definitely about to have an argument with Will, as we are going to be trapped in a house, ? We'll find out.
Which brings us to Folarin.
Hello, I'm Folarin, and much like my character Will, I use he, him pronouns, and my chief superpower is getting in trouble.
You
So we'll see what happens now.
Breaking and entering.
You like to break and enter, it turns out.
That's a classic urchin thing.
Yeah.
They do be breaking and entering.
It is now. Where should we begin? So, so far we've met our three little urchiny scamps. Things started off nice and easy. Will did a delivery, got kind of annoyed and decided to break into the house that he was delivering something to.
Classic Will.
Sometimes your passions just take over and you need to follow them.
Theo did some bigger. Theo robbed a post office.
Fully.
I
I would like to point out with the aid of others.
With the aid of others.
With the aid of adults.
Theo contributed to the team effort that was postal robbery. Talking of which, Will also did some postal robbery, but he just put a letter in his hat. But still.
Which is barely robbery when you think about it.
It is!
You take it without asking.
Eddie, meanwhile, got given a task from a friend of hers to go help a medium convince a disgruntled client that the ghost of her dead husband did indeed want her to get rid of a stuffed duck.
Yep.
Which
So good.
That's a taxidermy duck, not a duck stuffed with like stuffing.
yes, sorry,
Like, not a food duck.
taxidermied duck.
I just want to, just because there's been confusion around the duck, and I want to make sure that you all know exactly what it is that we're talking
That's
about.
the key point of this story is clearing up what is the duck.
Duck.
And to be clear, we have the duck.
They have
Yes.
the duck. They have the medium's magic shiny gem. They have a suspicious letter. They don't have any sweets because Theo spent all their money on sweets and then left them. at
Whoa,
the medium's house.
whoa. Not all of our money.
Spent the money that he stole from one of his colleagues
Right.
at the medium's
Toxic
house.
workplace environment, this crime
Hey,
line.
she started it.
And actually, if it's money that you stole, then really that's a return on investment.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll thank you for accurately portraying my business prowess, Shamini.
Financially responsible is the word I would use.
William finally decided to read his stolen mail. It was very exciting. He used his eyes, he used some moonlight, he looked at the letters on the page, and like the meaning of the words, it just came to him. It was magical. And found out that the house that he broke into where he was making the delivery was writing a letter to the orphanage that the three of them left. This letter also mentioned the names of some children that they remembered from their time at the orphanage, and getting a little bit worried. Why is this man taken charge of apparently several children. They decided they needed to go back to this house and investigate further.
Yep.
It's morning, it's broad daylight, they're trying to break in through the front.
Well, yeah, we did decide to break in at broad daylight, didn't we?
Yep.
Why did we do that?
It's okay.
Because Shamini started the day.
I
And
did.
we said, well, there
Yeah, no,
certainly
no.
seems to be plot in this direction.
Let's go to the plot.
And I appreciate you
Me
guys' dedication to plot. I genuinely do. I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, but it's bringing me great joy. So, where we left things, Theo on the street in front of this very lovely sort of white columned row of terraced houses in the sort of Russell Square area of London. Theo is making a scene. Bumped into a well-dressed young chap. Chap tried to keep on walking. Theo wasn't having it. Theo's yelling. Theo's chasing him down, trying to start a fight. Heads are turning. This is a proper neighborhood, and not one where somewhat grease-stained, skinny teenagers like Theodore are expected to be behaving so uncouthly, shall we say. Meanwhile, William, he's been over these iron railings before. How hard can it be? He's got, like, his 10-year-old younger sister in tow now. And last time it was sort of an accident, and also he tore his shirt. But he was fine.
I was fine.
He was fine.
Now we got to buy you a new shirt.
Apart from the shirt caused some issues.
Yeah, well, you know.
They are currently attempting to do what I assume is a sort of little semi-athletic, like hop, getting down into this sort of light well, where they'll be out of view of the street.
Yeah.
Folarin rolled a die.
God.
Got a number. We know he's got some adversity tokens that he could spend if he so chooses. We know Eddie's there as well. Theo's already helped. Theo has brought the DC down, and I've written the DC. I'll reveal it on this piece of paper
Oh
at
God.
the end of last session.
Oh.
So I think before I start off this session with a numerical reveal, we should decide once and for all, what is the final number that you are putting forward?
Oh gosh, before the reveal.
I know.
Oh, wait, so you're deciding if you want to spend
Well,
the
spend it.
adversity.
You rolled a 5.
Rolled a 5.
Okay, well, so I'm going to put it this way. I have only a single adversity token left. I will spend the token to make it a 6.
How
And
many,
if I fail, so be it.
how many does Eddie have?
0.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm over here with 2.
We have done this badly.
We'll be fine. What could possibly be on that paper?
Oh, God.
Can you describe to me what you're going for, Will, at this point?
So I think what Will is going for is I've been here before. I have climbed this fence before, and as I sort of collapsed the last time and sort of caught my shirt on the spike of one of the pillars and fell flat on my face, I had that moment of kind of going, oh, if only I'd gotten more momentum as I went. It was the issue was that I was like a little bit afraid. There was too much fear in me, and so I like didn't just propel myself with enough force. So I think this time I'm like, the key is go whole hog. So I think what I'm going for really is just to kind of like jump and just throw myself over the fence.
And what about Eddie?
Yeah, good question.
This was supposed to be a Will-led joint maneuver.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I hope he stops at the top so he can pull me up, but we'll find
That
out.
is what I'm hoping to do. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, the throw. Yeah, the throw is like get me over, and then I can kind of do a like.
And then,
Right.
and
Be
then
on the other
side
side of the
saddle,
fence.
pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Okay. So, heads on the street. Those few that there are turned away from you. Theo, out of the corner of your eye, you you know, you're mainly like focused on this chap in front of you. You're trying not to look, but you see Will's excessively long brown coat sort of fling up towards this fence, taking a real bit of momentum to get up there.
That's heartbreaking.
That is a 7.
That's heartbreaking.
You were very close, and I think, in honor of how close you were, I think, Will, you yourself do make it over the fence.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to stop you at this point. And I think you are over and you are gone. Just absolute Eddie, just this loud thud as he falls one floor and just bang into the pavings of this tiny courtyard below, leaving you standing on the street by yourself. But on the plus side, no one noticed.
Great. I'm looking through the bars and then I just turn around and just stand like this, as if like, totally reasonable for me to be in front of these bars, where the pillars are. Yep.
Okay. I think with a loud thud, I'm just gonna like lie there for a second and wait to see if truly just not gonna move, just gonna wait to see if anyone from the house has been alerted to my presence. That feels like the number one thing to do right now.
I would just really like to point out that at least once per episode at this point, you have fallen from a great height onto something hard.
It's your catchphrase. You don't have a phrase. You just go, ugh. That's it.
Truly.
You will get an adversity token for failing, though, so that's all right.
That is true.
Yes.
So
Yes.
please don't forget
I'll take
that.
this. But yeah, so I think I'm just lying there and go, okay. Do I think they heard me?
You don't
can I make
hear
a check?
anything.
Okay, I don't hear anything.
Right now, you don't hear anything.
Okay. Then I'm gonna stand up slowly, looking out to see if anyone's sort of watching, anyone's looking in our direction, and if not, I will sort of.
You can't
peek.
see them. That you're like they're up there. You
Yeah.
can't see.
Oh, I'm like too far down for the light well's not like my that
No,
way.
Yeah.
it's a full floor.
There's a reason why you couldn't
Yeah,
get out
fine.
in the first episode, yeah.
Slightly
Yeah,
off,
no,
but
this makes sense.
nearly a full floor.
You just hear.
You're in a hole by yourself
Eddie,
again. Will.
You just hear, Will,
Eddie,
Will,
Eddie.
are you okay?
Well, I mean, yeah, in a manner of speaking. Can you get down here or what?
No.
Yeah, okay.
It looks pretty dangerous. So
It is quite dangerous actually. On second thoughts.
just can you get into the? Did you say it was like an overflow library? Can you like get in and then like maybe open the actual door?
Like a back door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but just okay, fine. I'll do that. But you get Theo and get him down here.
Okay. Well, here.
Or get him somewhere. Just somewhere.
Okay. Look here. And I'll gently throw you Princess Cecily.
No.
I put my hands out expecting something. This is the thing. I think I put my hands out expecting something useful, and then as I see this kind of pigeon, I'm just like, ah!
Look, Princess Cecily, she needs a good eye on inside, and then she can help later when we free the pigeons from outside. So just take her with you, and I'll go get Theo. We split the party.
Right. And then I think I put my hand out. Does Princess Cecily land on it?
Just throw the bird.
I guess she does. I'm gonna make the terrible decision to see if I can bust in through this window again.
It's open. You opened it last time. You just
Yeah,
never
I
locked
think
it.
you did establish that we could get in.
Did we
Yeah.
get? Yes. To be fair, you did say this. It
Yeah,
was
you
just
wiggled
about getting
the
into
catch
light
last
mode.
time, and then you never
Yeah.
re-closed the
You
catch.
never re-whittled, yeah.
All right, then I think I'm gonna re-whittle the diddle, and I'm gonna get inside that library through that window. Yeah.
That's real thing.
Hey, I chose my words very carefully. That's what I'm
Yeah,
going
no,
for.
we heard it.
Yeah.
Right, Will. Looking in this window, you can see that the overflow library is indeed still empty. Luckily, no one here. You lift the sash and slip in. You're once again in a slightly musty, slightly dusty room full of books and curiosities. Eddie and Theo.
Yeah, as soon as I see Will has gone, I just make a beeline for Theo, not really taking care of any distractions that are in case.
Do
I'm
I
like,
see Eddie coming for me?
You're keeping an eye. You're keeping more of an eye than is sensible.
I think
as
I
quickly
make
as I
eye
can.
contact with Eddie, and I'm like, and I kind of nudge my head towards nearby alleyway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and stealthily, after having caused this big fight, just kind of dip into one of the alleys so that I can like get all the people who I've drawn the attention to kind of lose interest in me. Like I kind of like, oh, sod you then! And then I, run off and then hopefully emerge from another alleyway kind of like with less attention on me.
Yeah.
I'll say you can like awkwardly leave the middle of the scene that you created. No one's invested enough to try and stop you. They're a bit like, what is happening?
I really was waiting for you to bring the beetle in. I was like, I'm about to get sent somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I was very much looking at my watch for how long the scene was taking and how long it would take someone to go call someone.
Well, yeah, I'll kind of like just end things and then like after a moment or two kind of emerge out of another alleyway near Eddie and kind of like gesture her over.
Yeah,
Where'd he
easy
go?
enough. I think Will's in the overflow library, but I couldn't get
By
over.
himself.
Well, he's not by himself. He's got Princess Cecily with him, so he'll be okay.
Oh, good.
I don't care for your tone.
No, I'm sorry.
But maybe we can go around the back or something, and like, I said for him to like, find a back door or something to let us in.
Yeah. Or what if we went around the front?
Okay, we did already try going around the front.
And we can knock on the door
Okay.
and distract everyone inside.
Okay.
So Will can look around?
Okay. Right. Yes. Okay.
A horrible plan?
No. I'm just surprised we're going in the front in broad daylight.
We'll just knock on the door like we're a bunch of urchins singing songs, as we do.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Oh, our friends are there.
Our friends.
We know our friends are there.
Our friends are there. The pigeons.
Sister Francesca, in the letter,
Right.
wrote that
Yes.
Stephen and Pansy and Charles and Violet were all there. We could say that Sister Francesca told us that they were there and we came to say hello.
Oh, right. Yes. Great. Why didn't we think of this before?
What a brilliant idea that only just occurred to us.
Come on. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's what we'll do, I guess. I'm sorry, I've immediately come in with awful vibes.
Oh, that's great. I love it. It works.
You can learn.
Everything about that is perfect.
Yeah. What could
I
possibly
love
go
that
wrong?
so much.
All right. I reckon we go walk up to the front door
Mhm.
and I just knock. I think I just knock on the front door like I'm a guest.
Okay. While this is going on, Folarin, what kind of things are starting to go on where
Cool.
it's right now?
So I think once I get in, I immediately sort of like shoo Princess Cecily off to one side, and then
But inside the house, let's just clarify the pigeon.
It's very much
pigeon
inside the
is
house.
inside the house. I
She's
think that's
inside the
kind of
house,
thing we need
but
to-
I'm just kind of like, you rest on this pile of books. I'll deal with you later. I'm gonna take out the letter
Yeah.
that I definitely brought with me, and then try and like stuff it somewhere on the desk that's like a little bit hidden, so that whoever was writing it might think, oh, I misplaced it, rather than it was stolen. Then I think I'm gonna probably hear the knock and go, that can't be good. And then I'm going to venture. I'm just gonna like peek my head outside and just see if there's like anyone nearby. And actually, not just anyone nearby, if there's anyone like responding to that knock on the door.
Oh, good shout.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. So you'll have had a little while they were finishing up their fights and slinking off into an alley. Is there anything you'd like to do or grab before you leave the overflow library? We'll move into the rest of the house.
I feel
hiding the letters.
I think I would have looked around, but I feel like I don't know enough of what I'm looking for anything to be useful.
Great.
So I think I literally would have just kind of tried to get a sense of the place. What I will say is I've got a feature called Intuitive, which means that I can spend an adversity token to ask about my surroundings or an NPC.
Okay.
What I would ask is, if I used that, would I be able to get a feeling for like what John B's profession is? Like what does he do? Like what is it? Yeah.
That for an overflow library is a great question.
Okay, great.
And what I would probably say is that involves scanning over the kinds of stuff that's here, rather than I'm going to search for this and open this and that's a like, okay, scan, few book spines. What vibes am I getting?
Yeah, and let me actually maybe be both more specific and more broad. Not just his profession, but like what his passions and vocation is.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes, I will allow that. So just in this brief period before you're interrupted by an alarming door knock, I will say you have a quick look over some of the titles.
I think it's a very normal door lock, Shamini. I think it's very calm and collected knocking on the door.
Super chill.
Oh dear. But you have like a slightly more of a pause to look over some of these books in a way that you didn't like before. You were kind of like a little bit more like, oh my god, cool stuff. What am I looking at? And then you kind of had to like do a runner. I think now you've got a little bit more time to be like, okay, let me try and assess. And I think the first thing that probably jumps out at you is that you recognize some of these books. I think you recognize some of these books from the library. And there is, a sense of familiarity with particular books that Jonathan is probably very keen on. Which, if Jonathan is sending this potential donor, I think he implied, cigars, maybe you get the sense that they might share some political opinions. And be reading the same kind of thinkers from Britain, from Europe, political titles, that kind of thing, political theories, propositions. That probably leaps out at you, but I think it is a minority of the stuff that he's got. The other stuff that what you suppose is Mr. Alexander Janby's overflow library contains is very eclectic, but a lot of it is quite scientifically themed. So you see, obviously, there's very taxidermied animals around, and I think you see titles that seem to relate again to natural history. You see probably works by Darwin, although I don't know if you would know who that was. A few things on history as well. You don't get a sense of a profession, and you wonder if this person might be too rich to really have a profession.
Yeah, this is a sort of wealthy aristocrat who sort of has like a vocation. Like he trained in the natural sciences, and that's his both hobby and how he passes his time. Kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Do I get anything in that makes me wonder if he is, for lack of a better term, like investigating or experimenting on the children?
Wow, philanthropist.
I've made a jump.
Is there any kind of books that would give you that?
To be honest, I think it might be less books and more notes that he might have made, in the sense of if there are like notebooks where he's kind of going, today, Stephen did so and so, and I measured this, and almost like
Fair
their
enough,
names next to like lots of numbers.
We'll try again tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would say that this doesn't seem to be the main place for a collection of that kind of notebooks and letters and writings, and it looks a little bit less commonly used down here.
The overflow library, that's why.
Overflow library, there's some interesting stuff. You come down here from time to time, maybe do a bit of writing, but it's not a sort of main repository of that sort of thing.
Does he have a copy of The Island of Dr. Moreau?
A little bit of fiction.
Did he just do that, and then he just circled a bunch of like paragraphs, and he went, "Good
Underline.
idea.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Ooh, I like that.
Might try that one."
On my Urchins.
So I think you we'll move on to like sticking your head out of the door. And you are in a sort of cobblestone corridor, and you can see you're kind of at one end. You're not very far off from a set of stairs that looks to be going up, and beyond that, it doesn't look. You look down this corridor towards the sort of back of the house that looks distinctly less fancy. This looks like places where the fancier residents of the house are less likely to go. This is servants' rooms of some sort, whether that's to work in or bedrooms. But you can either go up the stairs or check out further along.
I'm going to really quickly go back into the room. I'm going to grab one of the books that I recognize that Jonathan has, and I'm going to choose the one that looks the least looked at, like perhaps the one that is most covered in dust. I'm just going to put it in my pocket for safekeeping. And then I am going to go back up the stairs.
Okay, so you are creeping up the stairs right now.
Yes.
I think you heard a knock, and I would say you haven't heard anything since then. And meanwhile, outside, Eddie and Theo, it's been like a length of time since you've knocked.
You gotta knock harder. Gotta knock harder. They won't hear us.
Yeah, I'll knock again, and I'd like to knock in a I think, not to add a little Blades in the Dark, but I'd like to flash back.
So the knocking lessons that you had.
Well, I reckon at some point in our shared history, there has been need for a knock that is coded of some kind, that when you hear the knock, you know it's one of us.
Of course it is.
And I would like to do that knock.
I love that. I love that. I should be making you roll for something, but I love it too much. Love it. So a little bit of time's gone by, and then, again, a knock this time. As you're creeping up the stairs, Will, a knock that you recall. You get to the top of the stairs, and there is a door. As you carefully open this door also, you can see yourself in a dark wood-panelled hallway. You can see from where you are that you have a view ahead to the front door, and you can see you're in the hall. There are various rooms, sort of entrance foyer, I should say. various rooms going off. And as the knock comes again and you are sort of peeking out, Will, you hear shuffling and tutting from behind you, from underneath, from the hallway that you did not go down, and you hear this sort of no, there. We need him knocking on the door. His job to answer the door, and he doesn't answer the door. And you hear someone coming up the stairs behind you.
Coming up the stairs.
They're coming up
Yeah,
from behind
they're
you.
behind you.
Okay, they're behind you. Okay, I am gonna duck in through that door that you mentioned. Into, you said that it's like a foyer with lots of doors to other rooms.
Yes, you emerge from the staircase door into
Into
the
a
foyer.
sort
The front door is ahead of you, and you can.
Oh, the front door is ahead of me.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
We're in the main hallway of
Yeah.
I
this.
won't be able to do
house.
that quickly enough. I am going to, in the foyer, see if is there any way that I could. Is there like a grandfather clock that I could hide behind?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There is.
Okay.
And it's very large.
You could hide
I'm
behind.
such a small boy.
And you're wearing a lot of brown. So
I am canonically wearing a lot of brown.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Okay. I think this will need a roll. And this feels like flight for me. This is well evading his problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to roll? And the DC for this will be a 5.
What are you rolling?
Oh, in which case, I'm not fucking risking that. I'm rolling a d12, so I'm just going to take half.
Yes.
Great.
Cool under pressure. Phew.
Great.
Oh, wait, shit! I need an adversity token to.
You gained an adversity.
You got one. You got
token
one
for
from
failing
before.
when you
No.
fell.
But then I used it immediately to use intuitive. So, I'm gonna go ahead and roll that, I guess. This is a
Dominate that
d12.
giggle.
This pendulum
Plus
is just out on
one.
the floor. Bits of cogs. The face is just Will's face with the two, like the minute hand and the hour hand, just like rolling around in his mouth.
That's not a good rolling face.
So, my flight is a d12 plus 1.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to hazard a guess as to what I just rolled?
2 total.
2 total.
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn these dice.
Oh.
Okay, it's fine.
Lauren, how does Will fail to hide behind a grandfather?
Oh, I think we all know the answer to that one.
Absolutely. There's enough of a gap that I think I need to sort of I think almost throw myself behind it, because I'm like, oh, she's coming, and then I absolutely misjudge the amount of strength that is needed, and I fling myself past it. I don't want to break the grandfather clock, but I want to almost imagine it as there's a bit of space between the wall and the grandfather clock, and imagine that Will's I'm going to slide into it, and instead I just keep sliding as this woman walks out and just kind of sees me emerge almost behind.
You've just, what's happened is she's come up the stairs, she's opened the door, and you've stepped out from behind a grandfather clock.
Not again. I want to be so clear. Not stepped. Slid.
You've slid out.
I kind of jumped to kind of be like, oh, I'll be behind it, and then I just kept going. So I'm kind of doing one of these on the floor.
It looks deliberate.
Yeah.
You can see an older lady wearing an apron, looking. I think her hands are half covered in flour, and there's just streaks of stuff on her apron, and she's muttering annoyedly to herself. Looks up and sees you, and I think probably shrieks. And I think Theo and Eddie, you just hear this shriek from.
She shrieks. She shrieks. I go, no, sorry, no, I'm so sorry, because it turned. No, I know I knocked earlier, but it turned out you left the door open, and I'm from the library, and I have this for the master of the house, and I pull out the book that I took from earlier. You left the door open, so I just came in, and it's I was told essential.
The door
I
is
don't know.
not. It's not my area. I'm not supposed to be on the door. So if the door's
Oh.
open, that's hardly my fault, is it?
Well, no, exactly. So I mean, look, far be it from me to
Well, you
tell you about, how lax your security is, but I think maybe you should, I don't know, have some words.
Well,
But
maybe you shouldn't be coming into houses just because the doors happen to be open.
no, and you know what? And I am sorry, and I won't do it again. But I was told it's imperative that I get this to the master of the house. So if that's a thing that could be done, that'd be great.
She looks up, like when you say master of the house, she looks up the stairs, and you can see that the doors to like the one level down are next to the main staircase that goes up. She kind of looks upstairs, then looks at you holding up the book, looks at her like slightly flowered covered hands. Edmonton, where we were. Okay, put it there. And she sort of just points to a little side table, on which is this sort of like ceramic cat that looks like it's from a foreign country of some sort. It's very sort of stylized and artistic, and I don't know that you would know what it is, but there's this very fancy cat on this little side table.
I sort of go to put the book down, but I go, look, so I can leave it, but I do actually also have a message, if it's possible. I'm happy to wait down here, but I do think I do need to see the master of the house, if that's all right.
Well, that's not. It's just not. It's just not at all my.
Oh, if you wait here, I'll just knock again, and I'm sure whoever's job it is to do that. If you want to go back to your job. And then if I'll just knock again, and then I'm sure they'll come, and I won't be any bother. I won't be any bother because I'll knock again because I was doing the knocking. I say very loudly.
Well done.
Yep, we're all there listening.
Heard. Yeah. Cut to the other side of the door, and just Eddie and I are like.
She kind of looks round. You be on the outside of the door, and that's where you should be, and I'd be on the inside of the door, and that's where I'm supposed to be. But what if they were knocking, and then Edmonton doesn't turn up, and then you're right. Get out, and I'm not answering the door because that's not my job.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. Because it's not your job.
Not my job.
And you shouldn't be expected to do it. And to be honest, to be frank, I'm very angry. I'm angry that you've been reduced to this because it's not your job and it's not acceptable. Cleared in the air with responsibilities, right? What's going on?
Maybe if you were to open the door, I mean, if someone were to let you in, and you were to see Mr. Jambi, you could mention the lack of door opening.
If such a thing were to happen, I would do that. I would, yeah.
Right.
That's what I would do that. Yeah.
Right. Out.
Yep.
She opens
I think we've
the front door.
Yeah, Garford, yeah, quickly.
Yeah. Step her away. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Will you step out, and like slightly confused at whether this is in fact the right thing to do. It does seem nice and conveniently better for her. She closes the door. And you're standing on the steps once again of Mr. Jambi's house.
I'm going
How
to.
many times have
I'm
we
going
been in
to
this
immediately
spot?
put my book back in my jacket, put up my collar, and go, my friends, as far as things go, that could have gone a lot worse.
Where's Princess Cecily?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Okay.
Oh
No. Okay, now before I answer that question, what I want you to remember is the number of times that you've told me that Princess Cecily is an independent woman who can handle her own business. Right? You told me that many times. Do we agree?
Oh, Will, tell me you didn't.
Yeah, I won't tell you then.
No, go on, you gotta say it. I can't.
Well, we need to rescue her.
Yeah, we need to rescue Princess Cecily, yeah.
I sit down on the step, not moving.
So does that mean that you're not gonna help? That you're not gonna help?
I'm just trying to think what I can do. And there's there is a sort of sadness, and then she looks to Theo. Do you think you could unlock the door?
Yeah, I reckon I could do that.
But for Princess Cecily, not for me. It's for Princess Cecily.
Yeah, for Princess Cecily, but we are gonna have to do what we were gonna do when we got in there. We got to investigate.
Yep, we'll do.
It's not just about Princess Cecily.
Okay.
All right.
Fine.
And I will. I'm gonna listen at the door quickly. Just make sure I don't hear any like residual footsteps, any residual like huffing and puffing from this person. And once I am confident that the entryway is clear, I'm going to attune to the metal of the lock and attempt to open it.
Okay. I think that's very easy. That's a 3 or higher will succeed on that. This is no particular fancy lock. Locks are what you do.
And we did rule that adversity tokens do count.
Can be spent on power usage.
Lovely. Then I will just roll 1d6. Did you? Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like it'd be really hard.
Is that everything okay down there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna roll.
Can I just clarify whilst this roll is happening?
Yeah.
I know that the person who normally opens the door is the butler that kicked me out the first time.
Yeah, you've been to this house before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, I'm gonna roll.
Cool. Yep. Do it.
That's a 2 plus an adversity token.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry, I had 2 adversity
I
tokens.
know,
in the
but
bank.
I feel so bad making you spend them on literally getting into the house.
Well,
so I
I'm
can go
getting
get
in
my
the
bird.
house.
Getting my bird.
Here is the thing: we're just following in the grand TTRPG tradition of just finding doors to be the greatest of all
true.
obstacles.
Doors are big obstacles. We know
Now,
this.
do I attune to this lock and find out that it is in fact unlocked?
No.
Right.
She locked it up back up again after her. I mean, because it was left unlocked before. Like, let's not make the same mistake twice. Or if she does, it won't be her fault. You open the door. You have a click. Is there anything you guys would like to do as you are standing on the slightly raised doorstep of this very fine house on this beautiful sunny day on a lovely street in London to make
less
you
suspicious.
going into the house by yourself? Less suspicious? Yeah.
We do the urchin dance. And no.
I think we just bolt in. I think as quick as we can.
Well, but the
maybe
thing
look
is,
around.
because of your powers, when the door opens, can we all just be like, "Oh, thanks so much for letting us in. Oh,
Okay,
thank you very much," and just kind of try one of
Bundle
Yeah,
in.
the mask we get in there.
Thank you.
Okay. So, I love that. I'm not going to make you roll anything for that, and neither of the passers-by are going to roll because, as far as they can tell, someone has opened the door for you. It's not therefore the quietest entrance to a house that you've ever done because you are somewhat talking.
Yeah.
But let's see. You do your little show. Step once again into the cool hallway and close the front door behind you. You are in once again the house.
Or the fourth?
You presume.
time?
Yeah,
Third
fourth time in 3 episodes. There you go.
Mr. Alexander Jambi. And you don't hear anyone around.
What? Where are we going from here?
I reckon we want to go upstairs because that's where John B is. So
Right.
presumably that's where the kids are, unless Unless he's got them stashed somewhere else.
It's a start, anyways. See what we find. I'm sure we're overreacting.
Yeah, probably.
You start to make your way up the grand, possibly slightly creaky stairway. As you reach the first floor, I think you hear someone come into the hallway below. So you are now one floor up, and you hear someone. You just hear the sort of little click of a doorway, and you can hear that someone is in that space. You're not sure who.
Are we hearing like footsteps?
Yeah. The door clicks, sort of sound of clothes.
How heavy do the footsteps sound? Do they sound
A large
like a
individual.
small
Yeah.
person, or do they sound like an adult?
Kind of hard to tell. Do you want to roll me brains to try and perceive
I'll roll you
from
a
the
D4.
shuffling?
What's my
Um,
DC?
Okay, yeah.
No. What are you gonna
Think
say?
that's-
Save me from this.
I was only because I have a 20 for brains.
Wouldn't it be great if Will rolled this instead of me?
The only thing I will say is the way I've been rolling, I would get a 1.
Yeah,
so
I-
maybe
yeah,
it's
I-
better for you.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right, the
There's a
first-
higher percentage chance of critting, and if it's a really low DC.
Exactly. Yeah.
But also, on the bell curve, there is no bell curve. But
I feel like Theo would be on the listen out for this. I think because you technically commit more crimes.
This
than
is
we
true.
do,
This is
so,
your vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Theo, the DC is 7
Yeah.
to try and deduce really
Now.
just whether this is a big person or a small person, which I think,
And
Now.
can
think is
we
quite hard
help
from
him?
How would you help him?
That's
Well,
a great.
hang on. I just want to now, Shamini.
Yeah.
I'm not going to assume. Sorry, it's very sunny. I don't know if you can tell. I'm not going to assume that my casing people / places skill will allow an immediate success.
Okay. Yeah.
But
But,
it does also have a provision
Yeah.
for plus
Yeah.
if at the GM's discretion of up to
Yeah.
3.
I will give you. I'll give you a +2 for that
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
because
So-
that's important information about a person. Yeah. Go on then.
All right, so I merely need to roll a 4 and explode.
It could happen.
It could
it's
very
a one,
easily
it's a
happen. It's a
1 in 4 chance.
More
Let's
Amazing.
find
tokens
out.
for
Let's
everyone.
find
go.
out. That's a 2. 2 plus 2 for a 4, and I have 1 adversity token. I can't make
You
it.
can't make it.
I don't think we should try.
That's a 5. I can't.
You can't make it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Get another adversity token though.
Yeah, that's true. Failing, and to be fair, of all the things, this feels like a pretty low stakes thing to.
There's a person downstairs moving too quietly for you to tell much about them.
But we have to be quiet. I think that's what you get from that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll carry on. Just also very quietly.
You are now on the first floor of the house. There are 4 rooms coming off this particular landing, and then there's another floor above.
Where'd you go from here?
I didn't get this far.
Well, where do you think?
I think. Can I look around for any objects in this immediate vicinity that look as if they would have been touched by people?
Where?
A door handle.
Yeah, what do you think?
Truly,
Go
a
for
door,
it. Go for
a
it.
door handle would be great, or if it's like, depending on what kind of foyer this is, if there's like any artwork, basically anything that is likely for like, especially a young person to have been like, ooh, what's this? And kind of spent some time touching it. I'd love to just
A little
look.
trinket.
Ooh,
Yeah, little trinket.
Little
things.
jewelry box full of sweeties or something on the side.
You know,
Or even-
for an example.
For example,
But even
yeah.
or even like a bust, right? Because I feel like a kid who sees a bust is like gonna touch it.
It's true.
Interesting. There are. I will. Oh yeah. All right. There is a bust. There is a figure of a sort of like bearded mer person. They're like sort of like old man of the sea type thing, sort of sculpted. And it's sort of got some interesting twiddly bits, and you sort of run your hands along its sort of smooth surface. And would you like to roll? I think again you just need a 3 or higher. Just trying to get a vague sense of what's going on here.
I'm gonna roll a d6.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a single d6.
And you have how many adversity tokens?
1.
Okay. So
This
2
is-
or higher.
Come
Yeah,
on.
it's so doable.
That's a
We
1 in
have-
6 chance of failure. Can't happen.
I got a 2.
Okay.
So I'm gonna add the. You said 3, right?
Yep.
Say 3.
adversity token,
I'm
yeah.
gonna add the adversity token.
God. It's back and forth these adversity tokens with yourself, Will. It's like, what? Nope. Don't
Really
get one. Don't get one. No one gets one. Oh, dear.
I will say that this is a sort of hallway. This isn't somewhere where people are spending a lot of time dawdling around, touching things, but you do get a faint sense, and I think you see in your mind's eye a hand that you can see as a child's hand. This was kind of what you were searching for. And I think you see it, just like a little brownishy coloured hand just on this bust, and you get some emotions from it, from this vision. You feel a sense of pride. You feel a sense of determination. You feel this sense of importance and of power, and that's very important.
Okay. So in this moment, I think part of my thinking here is that I'm like actually in a hallway. You are usually going to be moving like towards your bedroom. Like as you say, it's not a place where you dawdle. It's a place where you're going in a specific direction, probably to where you sleep. So do I get an impression of like that hand almost like running their hands along in a specific direction that I can
Yes.
follow?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say. I would say that this particular bust is on a table on sort of one side, and that there is a particular door that is on the other side of it. It's sort of between two doors, and you can sort of get a sense of direction.
I will sort of gesture in that direction, and will also say, just gonna put it out there. I think maybe they're sort of happy here. At least they feel like proud. I think so. It might be
good.
possible that all of this, as you said, was just a bit of an overreaction. But won't it be nice to know?
Exactly right. Let's go.
Can you, while you're having this conversation, roll me a flight?
All of us.
I would say Will.
You're D12 plus 1, right?
I am a D12 plus 1.
It's not going to be high. I think it's going to be a 5.
Okay,
Oh, easy. 4 or above. You got this.
I can do this.
Such
believe in
little
myself.
chance of failure.
An 11 plus 1 for a 12.
Hey!
Oh,
See, it
what's
was
he
locked
doing?
on, guaranteed.
It's on bikes. Woo!
I've been rolling with my left hand because of my setup, and I moved it over to my right, and it made all the difference.
There you go.
See, these Victorians were onto something with their superstitions.
Sinister hand.
Oh. This whispered conversation is so quiet, and as you walk across the floorboards here, it's the gentlest of creaks. This isn't a sort of particularly new house, but you don't feel like you've made too much noise, and you don't feel like you don't hear anything else from below you, from the floor below. You go over to the door. Would you like to open it in any particular way?
Quietly,
Slowly.
stealthily.
Yeah, all of the above.
You open this door, and you find yourself in an empty room. I'm going to say that first, because sometimes one mentions the people at the end.
I appreciate
Apparently
it.
that's
And
a
there's
little bit
women in the middle.
stressful.
There's a group of people having a seance. Like, what?
Not
You're
again!
Painting a picture. I get it. You know?
Empty room.
It's empty of people, but filled with a lot of stuff. And it's not a very big room, I will say. And it looks to be a study. There are books. There are writings. There are far fewer knickknacks, because there's no place for writings, for knickknacks, because the spaces are taken up by books and things. It's not what you would call a library. It's a place for working. There's a chair and a desk, and nobody in it.
I think we should just start casing it. You know what I mean? Like, what are the writings saying? What's the, what are the things on the table? Like, investigate. I think.
Yeah. Can I do the same? And actually, this time, be sensible and mention that I am officially skilled at getting info from books.
Seems relevant.
Seems pretty relevant.
Yeah. So can I apply that to, like, I don't know if this is a role, but I just want to kind of see what information we can get from the books.
Okay, so you're going to spend some time looking through stuff here.
Yeah.
It
almost feels like the division is like I'm a books guy and then Theo's a room person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be looking at the books. I can be casing the items.
Okay, so Theo and Will, you're here prepared to spend some time looking for things.
Well, yeah, a little. Do you know? Sorry, I'm getting the impression that we shouldn't be doing this.
No.
I'm just so excited for what Eddie's gonna do whilst we are not paying attention.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just really.
Just very happy.
Because we have completely
Eddie.
ignored Princess Cecily.
Yep.
You very much have. Eddie, I'd just like to note, apropos of nothing, that Princess Cecily is not in the study.
No, I assumed.
Just thought I'd really clarify that.
I appreciate it. I've cased the joint. I'm like, she's not here.
And I would know.
So, okay. Theo and Will, bearing in mind that the longer you spend here, the more chance there potentially is of something going wrong. I will say that you spend a little bit of time reading some books and reading some correspondence. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Is there, before I ask you to roll for it, is there any particular angle of things that you're looking for? Things that if you sort of caught your eye, you'd read more on, that kind of thing?
I think from my perspective, it's much the same as before. I'm just kind of trying to understand. I'm trying to understand more about who Jon B is, and what his relationship to the children is exactly, and whether or not I can kind of trust it. Yeah.
I'm looking for items that I might recognize from the orphanage, like maybe something like that one of the kids has left or has been taken from them.
Like a teddy bear or something.
Yeah, I'm looking for, things I might recognize from my criminal past, my criminal life, and like, is this person a criminal mastermind, or are they just an affluent dingus?
Nice. Okay, interesting. The questions I have for myself. They are many. Lovely. Would you both like to roll? Decide things.
That was outside GM voice for Shamini going like,
Would you both like to roll brains for me?
Yes.
And I will say this is a sort of tiered result. You can't really.
Fail.
Yeah, there's no win lose condition. But there is different amounts that you will get.
And can we use the plus 2 or 3 from our skill dat?
Yes. What's the how does that work? Remind me.
It's your discretion of up to +3 for the ability.
And Will
Mine is it casing places people, and Will is it learning things from books.
Okay, Will, you can have a +3 to that.
Ooh.
Theo, yeah, all right, you're casing. Yeah, casing places and people. Are they? What are the connections? I say you can have a +1.
Okay.
Because I think the kind of things that I want to give you are not super relevant to the kind of casings that you would do.
Got it. Okay.
Like it's not, you're not going to find out where he keeps his, vast riches, which would be a bit more.
That's true.
Yep.
There's no secret vault downstairs. Yeah.
Or is there? No.
So, I got a 12.
Ooh.
That's excellent. I rolled a 1, and I'm spending 2 adversity tokens to re-roll that check.
Heck yeah! Get that lucky.
That's a 2. +1 for a 3.
Ouch. Ouch, Theo.
You do fail though. No, you don't. You
Did
don't
you fail?
No,
Well,
you don't
do
fail.
I
No,
fail?
No, you don't fail. You don't fail. Sorry.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
true.
roll-
I'm going to say with a 3, you can have an adversity token. That feels pretty much like a failure.
Thank you.
Failed there. That's what that feels like. You've emotionally failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Hang in here.
Really shouldn't have put my D4 into brains.
Yeah.
We will come back to the results of this research and investigation. Edwina, would you like to look at any books? Would you like to read any correspondence?
I
Or
can't read.
Oh, I forgot you can't read. Oh, that must be so frustrating.
So frustrating. And no one seems to care that Princess Cecily's not here. But I know what Princess Cecily would do. She likes high places because she likes to fly, so I'm going to go up to the landing.
Okay. Eddie, you sneak out of the little study. You're back on in the second floor hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Another set of stairs. You climb. Again, not making a huge noise, and you find yourself on the third, and if you can remember from the outside, top floor of this building.
Just keep going.
Oh God.
Eddie is standing on in the corridor, cooing.
No, that's not what she did. That's absolutely not the sound she made.
Are you cooing?
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Fiona's trying to coo.
She's just doing it badly. I mean.
Oh right. Oh, sorry. Right.
Sorry.
I'm really bad at cooing in real life. I'll do the other way. Princess.
Yeah, that's what you're really saying. We all know.
That's what I'm really saying. Yeah. Princess. My stage whisper. Princess.
How loud would you like to be?
Well,
You're not getting an immediate response from Princess Cecily.
Look,
Would you like to try it louder?
Yeah, I'm going to try louder because one of my flaws is restless. I think I'm getting in sorry to use the word, but getting in a bit of a flap because Princess is not here, and I'm getting a bit flustered as a result. So I'm like, Princess.
And I believe that because you're using your floor, if you can add things to your roll. We looked this up.
If you want me to roll, yeah, sure.
What it was. I don't know what you're rolling, but there might be some rolling involved.
Okay.
You know what?
Oh no.
I'm gonna.
What is happening?
Your body language is terrifying.
I'm pretty
You looked
scared
as if
now.
you were about to stand up for a second, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
What I'm
Shami's about to
doing-
put a bullet
upstairs?
in a child's brain.
What I'm doing is I'm going to give myself a little bit more time to make a decision on what's going to happen.
Oh gosh.
And we're going to go to a break right now.
Oh, good.
Okay.
What's upstairs, Shamini?
What's in the
Oh,
What's in the attic, Shamini? Oh dear, oh dear.
It's very warm. I'm gonna just have a calming, relaxing
warm.
think. But before we go to break, I think we should have some calming and relaxing information dropped upon us in the form of some sort of lore.
Lord drop.
And today we have asked Zack FG to be the lore dropper, the one who drops the lore.
Oh, but I didn't prepare anything. That's
Get
fine. I'll just rattle this off the dome. So, what I have definitely not prepared extensively for today is a little discussion about the Crystal Palace Park dinosaurs. Now, what you might immediately be thinking is, now, Zach, I'm pretty confident dinosaurs are extinct. And that's where I say, yes, of course, you fool.
Okay.
They are merely statues of dinosaurs in the Crystal
Oh.
Palace Park.
Yes.
These are a tremendous real-life fixture that exists to this day, that are statues of how the Victorians, tie bang into the Urchins, saw dinosaurs, how they understood dinosaurs to be. Now, this was at a time where paleontology was very, very young. So let's just say that these were not the most accurate depictions of dinosaurs in the world. The dinosaurs that were that have been depicted in stone are the iguanodon, the Hylaeosaurus, the Megalosaurus, the Plesiosaurus, the Ichthyosaurus. There we go. And wouldn't you know it, there are also some mammals that are also in stone. Little less discussed, but still there. Just a couple of the mammals are the Megaloceros, the Xiphodon, and the Paleotherium. Now, let me give you a little history about what these things are. I prepared a little report. I did warn them that I prepared a little report. So
I'm ready.
these were commissioned in 1852, and they were to accompany the relocation of the Crystal Palace, where the park gets its name from Hyde Park. It was there for the Great Exhibition, which was a precursor to the World's Fair. It was the first kind of World's Fair. And when they relocated the palace from Hyde Park to Crystal Palace Park, which was renamed as Crystal Palace Park in honor of the Crystal Palace, they commissioned these dinosaur statues as well to be made. They were reconstructed, obviously, according to Victorians' understanding of paleontology, which is not very good. And if you go there today, there are actually little plaques where you can see what they believed dinosaurs looked like and what we actually believe those dinosaurs look like today.
Oh, wow.
So it's actually really fascinating. For those who are wondering why Zach knows so much about this very niche part of Victorian history, I simultaneously love dinosaurs and used to live in Crystal Palace, so I would see the dinosaurs quite frequently. To mark the launch of these new models, the designer, whose name Benjamin Hawkins, hosted a New Year's Eve dinner inside of the mold of one of the iguanodons.
What?
Yeah, this is a real thing that happened.
Oh,
All
no.
the donors and rich people who contributed to this got to eat inside one of the iguanodons. On the Wikipedia page, there is an illustration of this.
I'm just looking at it. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's wild, right? In the year since 1853, the dinosaur's life has been very varied, has been quite varied, from being hugely adored by the public to the point that they sold 30-pound miniature replicas to tourists at the time, to then later on in the decade having their funding pulled by the representatives of the park and everything, and because they were quite expensive to make. As the years went on, developments in paleontology and the evident inaccuracy of these sculptures made the Crystal Palace dinosaurs decline in popularity, shall we say. And after the palace burned down in 1936, the park in general fell into disrepair, with the dinosaurs being nearly entirely obstructed by foliage, overgrown foliage, because no one was tending to it. But then in 1952, a complete restoration of the statues was undertaken to keep the dinosaurs available to the public. And as of 1973, the dinosaurs and other elements of Crystal Palace Park were classified as Grade 2 listed buildings. And now, as of 2007, have been upgraded to Grade 1 listed buildings.
Wow.
It means that these dinosaurs are of exceptional architectural or historical interest and are given very strict protection under the law.
Wow.
As of May 2025, just last month, a major restoration project has commenced in Crystal Palace Park, which will include seeing the land and the dinosaurs cared for even further and preserved for many generations to come. And yeah, that is the story of the Crystal Palace Park dinosaurs.
I don't
That's
remember
amazing.
this is so I didn't realize how big they were, and then that
They're
image,
enormous. They're
that
life
is-
size.
that image is just ridiculous about the cutout on the Wikipedia page. It's pretty wild.
Now, I love
Although-
these. Sorry, go for it.
I was just going to say, sorry, I have to refute you only because I just watched a video because I too am interested in dinosaurs. And I just saw Cleo Abram of Huge If True has just done a video recently about sort of dinosaurs and shrink wrapping and sort of and all that. But one thing she said in it that I took away and I was like, wait, what? She was like, we talk about birds as being descended from dinosaurs, but in fact, technically they are dinosaurs. That's it's not a descent. So like they're alive, guys, and every time you see Princess Cecily, you are in fact looking at a dinosaur.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. Wow.
Exactly.
Oh.
I like the idea that they are listed buildings, but you couldn't apply for an extension or something.
You can't host a dinner inside the Iguanodon anymore, guys.
Oh man.
I love these dinosaurs so much that I have previously integrated them into tabletop to the point where they are in liminal London.
Yeah.
And fully the party completely bypassed interacting with the dinosaurs. And I was like, thank you guys so much for testing my ability to not railroad you as a GM. Because if there's anything in this world I would railroad you for, it's these dinosaurs.
These dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So wild.
Bless you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So cool. Love them. They're just so bonkers. Like they're like, yeah, I can see what you're going for.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's just really interesting. God, Victorians were weird, weren't they?
So strange. But there we go. That's the story. That's the lore drop. Thank you everyone for letting me drop the lore.
Thank you for sharing the lore with us.
Yeah. Love it.
Lovely, lovely lore. Well, in that case, we're going to take a quick break. We shall be back in between 5 and 10 minutes. And we shall resolve the situation of cooing and research that is currently going on amongst Jarvis' house. Thank you all so much for joining. See you in a bit. Eddie.
Oh shit. Okay.
You're standing in a hallway.
Yep. Oh.
You're cooing. In front of you, a door opens. We're going to pause there.
Okay.
We can go back to Will and Theo in the library.
What do you mean, Shamini?
Just think it's more fun this way.
For you?
Yeah. So there's books, there's papers, there's some research. We should talk about that for a while. No, I'm going to tell you what you found with your respective roles. I'm going to start off with Will and his thorough, sensible, like checking out the books, checking out what's going on here.
Oh, yeah.
You can see there's loads of stuff, so I'm going to pick out some interesting things. There are a few books that are out on the desk, and there are a few books in the shelves that look sort of worn and sort of used, regularly perused. you see one of the things you see is a section of bookshelf that appears to be about pigeon breeding. And for some reason, like the origin of species is also in that section. And if you take it out, there's a bookmark in an early chapter with details about pigeon breeding. It looks like very nerdy. There are a few books which I went downstairs on, again, a little section on sort of travel, archaeology, sort of lost cities, lost empires, cultures, myths, religions from distant, foreign, ever so exciting and mysterious lands. And there's two books that are out on the desk that are relating to this. One of them is called Powerful and Mysterious Artifacts of the East. It's like a list of like stories about, you know, almost like D&D style items, like this sword was said to have done like beheaded 1,000 demons, that kind of thing, where it's kind of like historical. It's kind of talking about the myths and legends about strange things. And there is another book on the desk, which is called The History of Golconda Fort. And this one has a bookmark in it, and it is on a chapter entitled The Collar Stone. And it is about a particular stone that is associated with a particular place and time.
Sorry, can I get it? What was that called again?
Kollur, Kollur.
And Golconda is Gul.
Golcunda. I will say that I'll leave it there for now. And I will come to Theo. I feel like maybe you've ended up going through a lot of very boring and irrelevant correspondence.
Yeah.
And you're like trying to read this guy's letters, and you're like, wow, his opinion on the Royal Society's latest talk by Dr. Marks is fascinating. I don't know what any of this means.
There's a real heated discussion between him and someone from the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds.
Yep.
The neighbors are complaining about the noise. He's writing
Yeah.
very formally worded letters back and forth, being like,
Yeah.
back to your last correspondence on the noise board. I refer you again. You know,
My previous,
that kind of thing. And I will say that you find one interesting thing, which is just you're going through these letters and you're kind of almost like there's nothing here, and then scanning yet another letter. This one seems to be from the owner of a workhouse in the city of London that you know of, and you're reading it, and then a line just catches your eye in this letter, which is can assure you that no persons matching that description are here, but if we, of course, find anyone, we will be in touch. And that just sort of catches your attention. And at that point, we're going to cut back up to upstairs.
No!
Yes.
In front of you, Eddie, is a tall,
Oh gosh.
blonde figure in a suit. Not quite smart enough to be the master of the house. And in fact, he is holding a tray on which are the various empty cups and a couple of sherry glasses. He comes out of this door, looks down, says, "Who the heck are you?" And then just as he's saying that, just through the gap into the room that he has just come out of, you can see some nice seats. This looks to be a sort of drawing room and like a nice place to sit. Not too fancy, again, like books on the walls. And you can see the sort of legs of one person sat on a chair facing away from you. And there's another person sat on a chair who you recognise. You overhear, I think, as the door opens, just the sort of end of their conversation. A man's voice is saying, "Oh, you know, I've impressed upon Miss Carter the importance of finding them." And the other figure is a lady. And this is a lady who you recognise from the orphanage. She's not a nun. She was always the person who was just a little bit more able to keep order than some of the nuns. She was the person who was called in if people were being rowdy, if bedtime wasn't going smoothly, if chores weren't getting done fast enough. And you know that she is also the person that, on the rare occasion that you recall where someone left the orphanage without permission, someone perhaps tried to run away, she would be the person who brought them back. And you hear just the end of the snippet, many places to be hiding, but I can absolutely assure you that... And she doesn't get to finish a sentence because she looks through the crack of the door.
Oh, God.
And she sees you.
Shut up.
She just...
No!
This is the opposite of an empty room, Shamini Bundell.
And stares. The butler in front of you.
Yep.
How did you get in here? And I think,
Yep.
Theo and Will, you hear that. You hear, what the devil are you? How did you get in here? Eddie, what are you doing?
Okay, quickly looking.
Yeah, I wanna know what Eddie's doing.
I have in my inventory breadcrumbs. I wish to throw the breadcrumbs at his face, like to blind him.
Yeah.
I go, and I just run back downstairs.
Okay. Roll me brawn. You're very small, he's very tall.
Gee, oh.
This is sports skills. How accurate is your breadcrumb throwing?
What are you rolling there,
Would you
Fiona?
like?
It's a D4.
Oh. And the DC is, of course, 1.
I'd like a 3.
Okay, so it's not impossible. I will say I do not have any adversity tokens. So.
Oh shit.
No.
It's a
That
1.
was a 1.
Yeah.
Theo and Will, you hear this coming from outside, from upstairs, and way too late you realise that you've been focused on reading and not focused on the ever-present question of where Eddie is and what she's doing.
I think I literally turn around. I'm like reading this book on pigeons, and I'm like,
Oh, Eddie, I think you like.
wait.
And then we hear that.
Yeah.
And then I think just to look at each other and then run.
Okay, Theo.
Question.
Yeah.
Is there a letter opener on the desk?
Yes. It's a fancy desk. There's a
Great.
beautiful, ornate, quite sharp-looking letter opener.
I grab it and I run.
God, he's gonna. Just, someone shared a lovely song today about how what all GMs really want is for you to stab an NPC.
I did see that, yeah.
And I'm getting strong vibes of that.
Someone sent me that today.
Yeah.
Okay, you run out into the hall, no longer being quiet. What do you? Are you running up the stairs?
Yeah, wherever
Yeah.
I think Eddie is, I
Yeah.
run.
I think you've heard the voice from upstairs.
Yeah.
You run up to the next floor, and you can see. I would say you just see Eddie standing there, she throws a handful of crumbs at this guy's neck. It's the butler, as you might suspect, Folarin. And you see him standing there holding this tray, looking increasingly angry.
Honestly, I'm not doing a social encounter here.
Oh my gosh, can I?
No, I'm not gonna stab someone. I'm gonna grab Eddie and run.
Okay, I think you go and grab her and run. I'm gonna literally take the book that I took from the library and like shove it in his face and be like,
had a sort of message I had to send from Mr. Welsh. So this is for the master of the house. Have fun with that. The housekeeper let me in. You should probably, I don't know, get on her about that because look,
Raise
I
her
don't know,
wages.
maybe delineation of sort of duties not done very well. I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And then
I'm extracting.
I'm
Yeah.
almost doing that as like a distraction, and then I'm just gonna book it after them.
Theo, would you like to roll me a brawn or a flight?
I would like to roll you a flight. Could I argue for grit? It's okay if not. You can say no.
No.
That's fine. I will do flight then in that case.
Yeah, it's very flighty.
Yep. What do you want me to hit?
Oh, yes. Okay, you're grabbing an Eddie, you're yoinking and you're going,
Grabbing an idea.
a 6.
You'd say 6, would you? You sure about that? Definite?
Ooh.
Here's an adversity token.
Feel
Here's a
bad now.
D12.
Take it off.
Yeah! Cool under pressure. You've had to do this thousands of times before. This is nothing.
This is in no way a high stakes situation.
I'm not leaving getting Eddie out of here to chance. I'm sorry.
Okay. You I feel like we might be bending the rules here, but I will say you are cool.
Yeah.
You run in, you yoink. And Eddie, you just feel yourself being pulled backwards, and you're quickly able to sort of like turn. You start legging it down the stairs. You're legging it down while Will is still talking. This butler is looking increasingly furious. He's holding this tray. There's a book in his face. He doesn't have any hands to take the book with. Are you like leaving him the book?
On purpose. I'm like doing it as like a don't look. Oh, but isn't this distracting? And then once I see that they're like far away enough, I'll drop the book on the tray and
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Now he's got a tray and a book. Glasses full. And you are legging it as well. And I will say you can leg it down the stairs. I will say there is a sort of split second of confusion. Before you start hearing sort of shouts from behind you, and I think you maybe hear like a familiar woman's voice. And you're like, why do I know that voice?
What are the words being said?
Probably a what the from inside, and there, no, don't let them go. And I think then you probably, after a minute of confusion, hear a sort of crash as I think he just leaves the tray.
Yeah.
I think the shouts have enough urgency that he's like, will I get in trouble for that? No, okay, right, we're going after the children, not the tray. You are
I'm going to
clattering
yell
down the
up
stairs. Yeah.
after Will
Yeah.
and say, Will, topple everything. And basically just basically gesturing for him to knock down any item that might trip someone up on the way down. You know, like that bus that we saw.
The bus.
I don't want to do it because I don't want to trip Will up. But if Will is coming behind,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I love that. I will say you don't need to roll for that. I will say it's pretty easy to start tipping things and getting things on a dangerous stairway situation with not pass any health and safety checks.
As I am doing that, can I just grab, especially as we go through that hallway, I'm assuming that mermaid is too big, but if there's anything that's like, that seemed similar that I might be able to just like put in the pocket.
There are a lot of knickknacks. I will say you grab some little bird models.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab
Yeah.
a bird model, put it in my,
Rightly
and
done.
then throw over the whole like display in the way
Oh,
of Butler.
nice.
Lovely. You're legging it down. You hear him as he is as he's coming down afterwards, starts to trip. You hear him then start to yell, and he starts to yell down after you, Mrs. Hearthmill! Mrs. Hearthmill!
No need to see us out. We're fine. We'll find the door. We know where it is. Okay, bye. Thank you. Just
As you enter start coming down the final set of stairs, can you roll me brains?
Who?
All of you.
Oh.
What do you want us to hit?
Yeah.
I want one of you, at least, come on, to hit.
Brains.
What just
Actually, I
happened?
think this is more of a.
Oh, he's back.
My camera's gone funny. Tell me what you want me to hit.
It's such a
um,
dramatic thing.
This is kind of a tiered kind of a check, depending on what I give you. But we're probably if you hit a 9, tell me, but you'll get something for lower than that as well.
Okay.
Okay, so brains, sorry.
Brains, please. Yeah.
Okay, got a D12.
4.
6.
I explode
2.
on my D12.
Oh shit!
14.
Oh my gosh.
14.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will and Theo, you are just running. You were just legging it. You were just gone. You come down the stairs. I think Eddie, you start to hear something from downstairs.
Mhm.
You start to hear footsteps coming up the stairs, and you haven't been down there, but it's behind a door. There's
Right.
some stairs coming down. You start to hear that.
Okay.
And as you sort of glance over, you have this moment where you think you see someone else in the foyer, like the hall with you.
Mhm.
Like there's this split second where you're like, oh shit, there's like someone standing right there, like a sort of skinny young person type shape, and like it's just this briefest thing, and then you blink and there's not someone there, but you were sure for that second, but then you can't quite figure out what it was that you thought you saw.
Uh-huh.
At that moment, you're reaching the front door. The door to the downstairs kitchen area bursts open. You see Folarin, the housekeeper who you saw before. What are you doing with the door? Did you lock the door behind you?
No.
No.
You did not lock the door behind you. So
No.
the door
I
is
mean,
still open.
I was going to say I would like to disable the lock so it cannot be locked, but I decided not to say
Yeah, it's
that.
not on
Yeah.
a latch. It's fine. You reach the door. As you go to pull it open, this housekeeper is standing there, and as Eddie, you heard her come up, turn, see her standing there looking furiously at you. Suddenly, from behind her,
The hero.
feathers flapping. Just this loud.
Deus Ex Pigeon. Let's go.
Deus Ex Pigeon emerges from the basement where she got really distracted doing some reading on her king.
Shamini, when I tell you I was about to self-sacrifice to go and get Princess Cecily, I legitimately was about to be like, "We'll take
No.
Eddie. I'm gonna get Princess Cecily."
Housekeeper screams. You hear further crashes as the butler is trying to get down the stairs. You hear distant voices from above, and you run out onto the street, watching Princess Cecily flapping along by your head in a slightly panicked state.
So all three of us are outside.
You're out. You're out the door. You're out the door. You're onto the street.
Move, blend into the crowd.
Run, trying to get lost in the crowd.
Yeah.
guess-
move. I think I shout out after the housekeeper.
By the way, it was the butler let me in, and maybe you should talk to him because I think maybe there's something going on there. I don't know. Maybe you just need to sort of work out who's doing what. Ooh.
Right.
You said we are by what's the
Yeah,
area
near
called?
Russell Square.
You said, right?
Russell Square,
Russell
yeah.
Square. I think run through Russell Square itself.
Yeah.
That way, and then come out one of the like other directions. Because for those who don't know, Russell Square is like a little square, and like you can get lost in the gated park. But then if we go out one of the other directions, they don't know which way we've gone from
Yeah.
within the park.
Mhm.
Great.
Fiona?
I was just gonna say, again, this is more of above the
Yeah.
above the table thing. I guess the answer is no. Are we splitting up? Because I'm sure this has happened before.
I think, given what's just happened,
That's fine. I just want to double check.
I'm not inclined to say split up.
I feel you're not letting me go, so that's fine.
No. I mean, Will can split up if he wants, but
Yeah,
at least
no,
I
no,
think
no.
I'm in a lot of trouble right now, and I want to get away. So that's fine.
Yeah, because I think like the knock, I think we probably have things where we're like, oh, now's a split up time, and I feel like this isn't
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to double check. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all still together, but we make it out of Russell Square.
As
by that day.
you run off, you're running down the street, you're heading into the park. Eddie, you glance back at the house that you've just come from, and up in a high window, you see a little girl. Just the vague outline of a child staring out after you with a very serious expression. Flat dark hair, 2 plaits, just staring out the window. And then you're gone. Running through the streets, you run through the park, you duck out an entrance, you head in one direction, you take a sharp turn, head in another direction. You keep running until you're completely out of breath, changing route, not heading anywhere in particular, until you find yourselves exhausted on a random street somewhere away.
Eddie, what happened?
She was there. The lady from the orphanage was there. She saw me. She was up there talking to. Well, I'm point to Will. Your contact. I think they were up there. They were talking. I just saw a little girl. She was looking out. I think they're still there. I think they're being held there.
What do we do now?
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I was going to ask you. Did she look? Hang on a sec. Look, you can't just run off. I know we were doing a dangerous thing, but you can't. You have to stick with us.
No, I was trying to find Princess Cecily. You two were busy, so I thought I'd
It's
go
not
find her.
Princess Cecily! Eddie, what if they'd have got you? You can find a million pigeons in London. There's only one you.
You're always like this. You always think I can't take care of myself. I was fine.
Eddie,
You two were too busy looking for
You
stuff.
Eddie, you weren't fine.
you are little. That was a big grown-up man. Do you know how easy it would have been for him to grab you and take you? And I wouldn't have been able to get you.
I've been fine.
You are very capable, but sometimes you forget that you are little. You are not a grown-up.
Well, neither are you.
Neither am I. Yeah, that's right. That's why I can't help you. That's
Stop
why
pretending. You're pretending to be like a grown up to take care of me and to take care of him. You don't care.
I don't care. You really think I don't care, Eddie? Is that what you really think deep down?
Stop treating us like children,
Then stop acting like one.
man. If there's pigeons nearby, I would like to use them so hard, Shamini.
There are always pigeons nearby, especially where you go.
In London, yeah.
Yeah. I just want them to just do a flyby, just poo on his shoulder. That's all I want.
How many of them are flying by and pooing on his shoulder?
I think, unfortunately, Eddie is it's big emotions right now. Loads. Like,
Loads!
Loads. So many.
Loads of, officially, loads of pigeons.
not one, not three, loads. Yeah.
Good. I think I just take it.
I'm happy to
get the
use-
loads. I want you to pay
That's
for that.
fine. That's fine. I'd pay for it. Yeah.
I think this is more than you have achieved before, and this more
Yeah.
than you have tried before.
I'm so angry. Yeah.
I think this is an 8.
Sorry, fancy. I was eating
You
my
need
dice.
to hit an 8, and you can roll as many d6s, your power tokens, as you like.
I know, fancy dice. Okay, I'm gonna roll 3 dice.
Okay.
Okay. Need to hit an 8. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. That's 13 total.
A flock of pigeons. It's just these clattering wings. They are loud as they take off in a flutter like something spooked them. And there's this brief moment, Theo, where they're all around you, and one of them poos on your shoulder. I mean, really,
They can all poo on me.
quite. It's
think,
more
yeah, it's
overwhelming that there's just pigeons everywhere.
I think it's like the vortex.
Yeah.
On the wall, and then it's a final like. On the
Are
end.
you there when the pigeons are free from my vision?
If I may, I think once the pigeons are free from your vision, I think
Yeah.
Eddie has collapsed on the ground.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm coughing.
Eddie! And I think I immediately start tending to her. I was like, Will, we gotta get her somewhere.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I think you've been holding her, so I'm assuming that you're tired. So I almost try to like take her
Yeah.
from you to like shoulder some of the responsibility for a bit. But I'm like, lead the way.
And I will run to who's a trusted adult in our life? No one.
I think literally there's Mr. Welsh,
Yeah.
and that relationship's about to go south probably. And then there's the woman in the
Eleanor.
church whose name we can't
Yeah.
remember, Eleanor.
Eleanor.
Actually, we should definitely go to Eleanor because
Yeah.
I know that we don't know her well, but we know of her.
Well, you
Yeah,
know where
we
the
know
church
she
likes
is.
Eddie.
Yeah.
You know where the church is.
I will. Yeah. Then I will lead us to that church, where we know Eleanor is, and I will. Yeah. Lead the way there.
You make your way through the streets of London, back towards more home territories, past the little park where Eddie likes to stand and be sad next to the ducks. It's a small urban church, a little graveyard. You get the sense that parts of this city have sort of grown up around it and encroached upon it. But you are able to find it easily, and it's always open. It's the middle of the day. You make your way inside. It is cool. It is calm. It is quiet.
Miss Eleanor, is Miss Eleanor here?
I think we are like a bullet through the calm of this space, just shouting as soon as we come in.
It echoes and it's jarring. There doesn't seem to be anyone else in here, but after like not too long, you've barely sort of called out and taken a few more steps, and Miss Ellen appears from a little side door right up at the front.
We need your help. Eddie, she's sick.
She swiftly runs down the aisle towards you. She doesn't take Eddie from you, but she looks and then gestures for you to follow her and leads you into the back area of the church where there is a really small room. There's like the vestments that the priest wears, and there's just a little bowl of water for washing your face, and a cup of water as well. And she offers Eddie a cup of water. And I think you are a little bit more aware of this now, Eddie, and sort of
Yeah, but just coughing constantly.
Yeah.
Really weak. Yeah.
Can you do something for it? She's fine, yeah? She's fine. You just need to do something.
What's happened?
She just collapsed. Don't know why.
Yeah.
Has she
You
eaten
can't
today?
tell anyone. You can't tell anyone.
Who don't you want me to tell?
Anyone. Can't tell the beadle. Can't tell the orphanage. Can't send her to the workhouse.
I won't. I'm not going
Promise
to do
me.
that. I promise you I'm not going
Promise
to do
me on
that.
God.
I promise you on God, Theo.
Thank you.
Has she eaten? Has she drunk?
Yeah, she had toast. She had marmalade this morning.
Good, good,
Water.
good. You're doing a good job. Right. Eddie, how are you feeling?
Fine. Fine.
We'll get you some honey in hot water, right?
Mm-hmm.
You all just have a sit down and have a rest.
Bless you.
God bless
Bless
you.
you.
Yeah.
And she leaves the room.
Yeah, if there's like some sort of like little bed or something like that, I'm just hop on it and I just lie down and turn to the wall and just do not speak to these two.
Yeah. You can't go back there. Don't care what those people at the library are giving you for it. You can't go back there.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to, but if they're being held against their will, if there's other kids there who managed to make it out of the orphanage like we did, and now they're being held and maybe they're going to get sent back, then we can't do nothing.
They never cared a lick about us. Not one of them. They all hated us because we were weird. They didn't do nothing to help us. We don't owe them a thing.
It doesn't matter if they were bad to us and we weren't friends. It's not about friendship. You got to build the kind of world that you want to live in, and I don't want to live in the kind of world where someone would see that I needed help and leave me to it.
Will, that is the world we live in. That is
Doesn't
the
have to be.
world.
It doesn't have to be.
You're living with fairy tales, Will. We are children. We live at the whims of adults. It doesn't matter how we want the world to be because it's not our bloody world.
But it might
It's
be one
theirs.
day if we take control. Theo, I'm not stupid, all right? I'm very bloody clever. I read a lot. I know that the odds are stacked against us. I know that it's not going to be easy, and I'm not saying that we just stroll in there. And I'm certainly not saying that we put ourselves in unnecessary danger. I look at Eddie. But if there is something that we can do to help those kids, if they need it, and maybe they don't, but I think we have to do something. Sorry, that's just what I think. It's what I believe.
You're going to do this whether or not I help, aren't you?
Yeah, and it would be much easier with your help, to be honest.
I do not appreciate being put in this situation. Fine. But if anything goes wrong, and I mean anything, That's it. I'm not risking you. I'm not risking losing Eddie. We're all we got. Do you understand? We'll make sure Eddie's all right, and then we'll figure out what the next bloody move is.
I think after a while, Miss Eleanor comes back with some hot water and honey and a little floral teacup. I think she probably has found some cake as well.
God, Miss Eleanor's the best. That's why we
That's-
come here. That's why we come here.
She's an angel.
Yeah, Miss Eleanor's the best, is she?
Yeah, I think she is. You're fine.
Oh yeah. Mm.
And I think you stay there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
If you like, you can stay until you feel a little bit stronger, Eddie. And I think there comes a point where you've been there for a little while and it's getting a little bit nearer an afternoon service, and the priest is due soon and you can't be there.
Not be there. Yeah. Yeah. I finish up the cake and water. I go, sorry about that. Just got a bit angry and lightheaded and didn't mean to bother you. I'm sorry.
Are you saying that to Miss Eleanor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we're leaving.
You didn't bother me. Just come back tomorrow and tell me how you're feeling, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
We'll make sure you're okay. And if she needs any medicine, then we'll see what we can do. She says that to you, Theo.
Thank you.
The three of you step out.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I could take a second with Miss Eleanor.
Yeah, you can hang back.
And I just say to her, I think I say, if I knew that someone probably didn't know, but I thought someone was probably getting hurt, and maybe if I helped, I could stop it. But by doing that, I put others at risk. Is that something God would be mad at me if I said I didn't want to do that?
I think if we all listen to our hearts and make what we feel is the right decision, then God won't be mad at us, even if it is the wrong decision. God loves you no matter what you do.
Thanks. Thank you for looking after Edie. We're doing our best, but there's nowhere for us. So
I think you're doing amazingly.
I think you can see from Theo's expression that he doesn't feel like he's doing amazingly. And I think he maybe grabs a little piece of cake that was left behind. No, free as if
Yeah,
it's
no.
offered, as it was offered. No, I'm not stealing from
I'm
this,
not
woman.
stealing. What you're doing is stealing. I'm not stealing.
If the freely offered cake, I'm not going to take it.
There was like this one slice left that Eddie kept going back for like a little bit more and then a little bit more, but like obviously Eddie's not gonna eat the whole cake, so she just left this smaller and smaller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
A little piece left over, yeah.
And as I step outside, do I see Princess Cecily anywhere?
Can you tell the difference between Princess Cecily?
Can I? I don't know.
The other
Well, which one is Eddie interacting with?
Eddie.
You know what? I think as you're coming out, I don't know what Will's doing, and I'm saying like, okay, well done, everyone. That was exactly as we planned. However, I do have some notes, and I'm just giving notes to a big bunch of pigeons. That's all it is.
I love it.
I'll just sidle up to Eddie and I'll be like, sorry, Eddie, which one's princess?
I think it's really obvious which one Princess is.
So do I.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you just give me a hand, give your old, please.
Oh, okay. I point to Princess Cecily.
I'm gonna lean down to that pigeon and just kind of from behind my back produce this piece of cake and just offer it to Princess Cecily and be like, sorry I was mean about you, Princess. It's not nice.
There's this pause where this like one pointed at pigeon sort of like backs up as your hand comes down and looks
Yeah.
up at you. Looks at the cake, and then all of the pigeons are just like
Yeah.
going for the cake.
As the maelstrom happens, Will just kind of jumps in and goes,
Yeah, and sorry about sort of abandoning you in the house. That wasn't very good of me. I do get it. Like no pigeon left behind, so that won't happen again. Sorry about that.
Incredible.
And just kind of like turn to Eddie, and I don't think I say anything, like, and I'm not like looking for anything, but
No.
I just like, I've said my piece, and
Yeah.
I feel like Eddie's not the kind of person who wants a direct kind
Yeah.
of conversation about it, but like the gesture has been made.
Yeah, it definitely is like Eddie will remember this Telltale S type.
Yeah, Eddie approves Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate
yeah.
style. Yeah,
Yeah, you interacted with the pigeon, everyone approves. Yeah, that's what it is. Absolutely.
Okay, you are around your home turf. It's afternoon. What would you like to do?
I think I would say if it was like, because I kind of did say to these two like what I saw. If I'm able to like try and find some parchment or not parchment paper, and like do some drawings. I want to just like try and draw what I saw, like not only the girl in the window, the person that I saw who saw me through the crack in the door, but also I'll try and explain the girl that was there but not there. And like try and point through the timeline that I have, whilst you two have like visual, like you have books and writings. I'm like, okay, and then I point out, this is the lady that saw me through the door. She's like they're looking for people. I think they might be looking for us. And then this is the lady I saw in the window. And this is the lady who was there but not there. And try my best to get a good
I
enough
think
drawing.
maybe
with it.
you're like heading home to get some paper and
Yeah.
like talking it as you're kind of walking. So
I think maybe if we kind of regroup at our flat squat.
Homey home, yes.
is there anything you'd like? Anything else you'd like to discuss on the way? I'm gonna hold off on us like arriving yet, but just as you're coming.
Oh, I see. There's a quick time event at the
There's
flat.
something about to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, you might distract things slightly. Might be time afterwards, but let's get some stuff in now.
I think Will just immediately, when you're saying some of these things, Will's just kind of like, all right, so we okay. So there was a person who was there but not there. And you swear on your life that there was someone who was there but not there, and that you're not making things up, or that you weren't lightheaded and feeling a bit faint.
No. I mean, we were running out, and I was trying to like get to the door, but she was like there, and I blinked, and she wasn't there. Did I? Shamini, sorry, remind me. Did I recognize this person, or I've never seen this person before?
I would say
Yeah.
that even after the moment that it's happened, you couldn't really remember, you know, even whether it was a boy or a girl, like or what they were
God.
wearing, or like
Just
let
a
alone
young figure.
Just
their
a young
face.
figure.
Yeah,
Fair
I think
enough, fair
that
enough.
it was too quick. Yeah.
Yeah, It was like a mirror image. They were just like there, and then I couldn't get a good read on them. They were watching us.
We Shamini. This is I guess above the table talk. We were the only kids that we knew of who had special abilities.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that you were friends with each other, so you would have known that, and I imagine that you weren't super open about it.
With other people.
I'm assuming that you didn't go around being like, I have a magic power. Well, okay, apart from Eddie, look.
Thank
Eddie,
you. I was going to say.
aside from Eddie,
Yeah, but also Eddie could have.
But also
Eddie's
no one
power
believes
is
me,
Easily
yeah.
disguised
Yeah, no one believes you. Yes,
as
well, on the
a
one
child
hand,
with a vivid
Just a
imagination.
lonely child talking to birds. That's all it is. Yeah.
on the one hand, yes, absolutely, you're the only people you know of who have powers. On the other hand, even you telling each other like probably took a little while to realize it, so you wouldn't necessarily know.
I just think as Will is walking with all this information, he's just gonna go, we always assumed that we were the weird ones, we were the misfits, but what if we weren't the only ones?
What, like all the others had powers as well?
Maybe not all of them, but well, I don't know. Maybe there was something special about. I mean, why them? Why were they there? Why were they taken? Like, what's and that sense of like determination and that sense of like they all feel very special. They all feel like they're doing something big, and I don't know what it is, but
Like they've been chosen.
Like they've been chosen.
Well, if they do have powers, why aren't they just leaving?
Maybe they can't. Maybe they're just trapped or hurt or something.
But what if we get trapped? We manage to escape.
Yeah, which means that we're better and smarter than they are. So we'll just have to.
On that, we
employ
agree, Will.
Well, exactly. So we'll just have to employ our sort of, incredible skills and not get caught, and maybe help them to also not get caught.
She saw me, and they saw you, Will. So they know we're connected to the library. They might come find us there.
You can't go back there.
No, not certainly not through the front door anyway.
Tell you what,
maybe...
where's your buddy? Where's he hang out after all these meetings over at the library?
Well, sort of, he often just hangs around, and then I think he has like drinks there sometimes with people, sort of like a.
Where's he live?
Oh, where does he live? Do I know where he lives?
I'd say probably not. He's quite secretive.
Not another house to break into. Got you.
I certainly have like.
We do need a house for 4th episode, to be fair.
Yeah.
Above the table, I do think I'm going. My kind of in my head plan is that I'm gonna let these two have a night's sleep. And
I know you're gonna go to the library. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And follow him home. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Okay. Oh, that makes me feel so ill.
With my little letter opener.
Stab an
I haven't
NPC.
forgotten about that. That's in my inventory now.
Yeah, no, I think Will's just like, okay, look. At some point, Mr. Welsh is going to find out what happened. I prefer to chat to him before that happens. I reckon if we go home now and then I speak to him in the morning, I don't know, I might be able to find out something from him.
Okay.
He might have some information, and then, or maybe I can work out if he's trustworthy, and if he is, then I can tell him, and then maybe he can help.
Yeah, that could
Look,
work.
I want to be smart about this, Theo. I do. I don't want to put us in any unnecessary danger, but we have to do something.
No, you're right. We do have to do something. Well, we need to start by getting more information. Best
Mhm.
lead is your buddy at the library. Maybe worth doing some reconnaissance on the house, see if we can see what else we can find.
As you are approaching your house, Eddie, can you make me another brains roll, please?
Okay.
I know exactly. I know in my soul what's happening right now.
What's the is there a DC?
That's a 6.
Okay. Okay, so my brains is D12, but I'm not gonna do cool under pressure because this is something that I'm not prepared for. I think it feels like maybe not
Yeah,
something, so that's
it's not
fine.
a very deliberate thing. Yeah,
Sure. Ooh, as a 10, I do
it's a
pass.
10.
Wow.
I think, as you're walking, it's the familiarity. It's the catch of something that you caught before, and you're walking down the streets, and there are people around. There being people here is not weird, but a split second after it happens, you're like, did I just see a person who was there and then wasn't there? Just this familiar glimpse, just this familiar disappearing feeling of like uncertainty over what you just saw.
Yeah.
And as you're sort of thinking that, all three of you see as you're coming to the outside of your house, which is not the way that you get into it.
Oh no.
You see a figure standing in front of your house, kind of looking in, kind of looking up, kind of looking a little bit frustrated. And Theo, you recognize Sally.
Oh god.
Do I now?
You do. You do, yeah.
Oh, I have an idea of what to do, but I don't know if it's right. No, I'll just go up to her.
Yeah.
I'll just go up to her. We're friends. We're colleagues.
She's kind of looking. She turns around and like there's this big sort of sigh, slightly exasperated sigh when she sees
Oi,
you.
oi.
Where have you been?
What is it to you? Doing my business? What are you doing here?
She kind of leans round you and looks at Eddie.
Oh no, I've left them behind. I'm not bringing them into this conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if she's looking around, I'm definitely hiding behind Will.
Yeah, as he walks forward, like as he
Yeah.
sees Sally and walks forward, I take my jacket off, put it around Eddie, and like just walk her away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want Sally anywhere near.
Will someone roll flight for me? At this point.
So, my flight's a 12 plus 1.
Yeah, go for it. I would like you to get a 6.
Should that be me, or does anyone else want to volunteer?
Go for it. I think you're just.
Oh, I guess I am the.
You're the active person, I think.
And I think you have the best flight of any of us.
Oh god.
Yeah.
This is not a normal situation for Eddie. This is like bundled up.
What are we hitting?
6.
For fuck's sake.
Oh my god.
That's a 4.
Fuck. I don't have any adversity tokens to help with.
I also don't have any adversity tokens.
My 1 will not help.
Or else I would have done cool under pressure.
I think because you've been walking down the street together, you're coming up to her. She was kind of looking around. I think she sees you first and then sort of looks to see where you're coming from. And I think she just sort of sees the two of you, isn't quite sure. She goes, "Is that your sister?"
Oh, over there?
Hello, one.
Oh, over there?
What?
No, over there? Just,
No, not. What are you talking about?
Just, I'm pointing in different directions. Right, over there?
Oh, for fuck's sake. We got to go in tonight. All right?
What tonight? What's he want?
We're doing a job. And he wants you. And he wants your sister.
Oh, my sister's out tonight. She's already gone.
You better go get her, or you can tell him yourself why you ain't bringing her.
Oh, Sally. What's the old deal? You seem strange tonight.
All right.
Someone break
We
up
got-
with you or something?
What? We got a big job tonight, all right? We got a big job.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
don't
gonna
get
go
rolled.
well.
Don't get rolled.
You better not mess this up, or you look. I would love for you to be in real trouble. That would entertain me greatly. I think it'd be hilarious for you to really, really fuck this up. But
How'd you spend your coin from last time?
she looks at you, just this little like, how'd you spend yours?
I got some sweets.
Did you?
Yeah.
Got any left over from the sweets?
Ah, no.
It's a
Want some?
shame. Yeah.
Go get him.
Look. We're having another go at the train job tonight.
What?
Oh no.
Things are different. It's a new plan. And Mr. Tanner says we need someone very, very small because of what got fucked up last time. So you are going to bring that little scrawny girl and you are going to come meet us. We're going to go over the plan. And then tonight, it's on. Okay? And it's going to work this time. And I am going to be rich. You I don't know about.
Fine.
Good. Don't fuck it up. She starts
You
to
don't
play.
fuck it up. You're the one who's gonna fuck it up.
I ain't the one who's going to be crawling around on the roof of a moving train. She keeps walking.
Oh, God.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm gonna head upstairs, where I presume the other two are.
You.
Yeah, would we have been able to like find a way in without sort of
Well,
her-
she was at the front, so she
Yeah.
was not at the entrance that you would usually use because
perfect.
the
Yeah,
stairs.
so
were
yeah,
open.
they were in. Yeah, they were in. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you've made your way across the back, across the rooftops, and into the little skylight. And Theo, you go and follow them there.
What does she want?
Eddie, remember you were saying how you really wanted a job?
I already have a job with Mrs. M. I can't have two jobs.
Or what if it was a really big one? Or was a really important one?
Say more?
No, maybe say less. Theo, what are you talking about?
Tanner is doing another run at the train job,
No,
and he needs
No.
someone little.
no. I turn to both of you. No.
You
No.
can't tell her what to do.
I could do it. Yeah, don't tell me what to do.
I'm going to tell both of you what to do, and both of it, no. Look, I realise that I am all gung-ho in saying that we should throw ourselves into dangerous situations, but it's one thing if it means helping people who maybe need it, people who are vulnerable, people like us, but it's another thing entirely to help Tanner.
He is the one keeping us here in our house. Without him, we'd be out on the streets. We'd have
No.
nowhere to go.
No,
Without
he's
him,
not
we
keeping
wouldn't
us
have
here in our
food.
house. He is keeping us caged here. We're practically prisoners.
We have no choice, Will. This is how the world works. If you want to make your perfect utopia, well, guess what? This is the stuff that needs to happen to make that world go round. You may not like it, but it's true.
It doesn't have to be true. It's only true if you believe it and I don't.
Well, guess what? The world's knocking on the door. You gonna answer it? Didn't think so. So I'm going to go do what we got to do to stay alive. And if that means that I've got to keep Eddie safe on the job, then it'll have to.
Will this be it, though? Like, this is the job, big job, and that will be it. We don't need to do any more to that horrid man.
Well, that's what he says, yeah. Should be the last of it. And
that's what
he's
says.
honest.
Time and time
you know,
again. He's on it. Theo, you are not stupid. I know you're not. You are not that dumb.
we got to do what he says. That's the end of it. If he doesn't come through this time, then I don't know, maybe we'll find somewhere else. But I can't do another winter out on the streets. Will, we barely survived the last one here.
I know. Look, we are resourceful and we've made friends, okay? Since the last time.
Well, your friends at the library who are clearly selling us out.
Look, my friends at the library are better than Tanner. And we can speak to Miss Eleanor.
Ain't going behind our back.
Yeah,
Tanner's honest in your face.
I'll do it, okay? No more arguing. I'll do it. As long as Princess Cecily can come along.
Yeah, Princess Cecily can come along.
Great.
At this point,
If you go, I will tell someone. I've done it before, I'll do it again.
Will, if you tell someone, that's it. You hear me? That is it. It's the end of the line. Can't carry on like this. Because I cannot look after you, and I cannot look after Eddie if you're undermining me every chance we get to get out from under this. You want to go and rescue all these orphans? Fine. But don't undercut me when I'm trying to make money and I'm trying to give us a place in this world to survive.
You know what, Theo? You say that you're trying to make money, that you're trying to get us a place to survive, but this isn't survival. None of this is. This is scrounging in the shadows. This is living like vermin. And all of it is because you get a thrill from it. You get a thrill from being a bad man who can flirt with danger and skirt in the face of the law. It doesn't make any sense. It's not for a greater good. It's not for a bigger purpose. It's just so that you can feel like you're doing something big. But I won't have it because we don't have to. We can do something. We can.
When's the last time your greater good put food in our bellies? Huh? When's the last time your greater good put a roof over our head? Because my tally says your greater good ain't done shit for us. So get out of my way. Or you're out.
Will looks up at you and really does have to crane his neck to look up at you. Stares you down.
Real Paddington hard stare right now.
You know what, Theo? Fine. Go do it. Go see what happens.
And he's just gonna walk away.
Oh, God.
as you say these words in the silence, you turn away from Theo and you turn towards to leave towards the exit, and there, framed in the window in the roof is a little girl with 2 long dark plaits.
Oh
Just
no!
Staring in at you.
We are being haunted.
And that is where we're going to leave.
Ah! God, no.
True terror is a little girl with 2 plaits. That's truly what it is.
What's that movie where isn't it called Orphan? That movie where it's like a little girl.
Yes.
Who appears to be, and then she turns out to be.
Yeah. Oh god.
God. Oh.
That is that.
Oh, gosh,
So
right.
fewer musical numbers that episode, I note. Do you want to throw that out there? Like, didn't really have the the
Look,
jazz
there
hand
wasn't
potion
the
was lower,
time.
you know.
There wasn't the time this
Time
week.
potion.
Wasn't it not last time you were like, gosh, it's more chirpy than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be really sad. We go,
Yeah.
we heard the notes. We heard their friends.
And we were like, oh, you want some conflict?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want
All
us to
3 of
bring
us.
out the character backstories and the underlying resentments that we have for each other?
Yeah.
Here
It's
you
so-
go.
It's so I'll just sit here being like, don't distract.
Don't cry.
Oh my god, look. Oh, she didn't. He didn't. Oh no. Okay. Trying to look cool. Phenomenal.
Phenomenon.
Something like a phenomenon.
Phenomenal work. That was chapter 3 of Urchins.
Urchins!
Happy. Exclamation mark.
Happy.
Right, so we've got a few things we're going to do. We're going to wrap up now. We are going to find out more about our wonderful guests. We're going to find out more about what the RP Geeks have been up to, and we're going to do some Patreon rolling and putting people in the world. So to start off with, Folarin, will you just tell us where else we can find more about you?
You can find more about me somewhere online. Akinmade is my handle, sometimes with hyphens in between, so it's _. It's never a hyphen, it's always an underscore. Unless it is a hyphen. There's probably a link tree somewhere. Akinmade, you'll find it.
Somewhere on the
over the
internet.
rainbow. They're
Under the
bluebirds.
bridge.
Well, we're pigeons.
Where
Shit
pigeons
on-
fly.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely.
Zachary Ford is gone.
Hello, I've been Zach. You can find me all over the internet at ZachFG, or you can listen to me on the podcast Realms of Peril and Glory, which you can find anywhere podcasts are found. I run a lot of games. I play in a lot of games, and lots of different game systems. And also, hey, if you're already here in the RP Geeks channel, I've run a couple quite good games on this channel.
All right. Yeah.
I've done a previous Kids on Bikes game, Kids on Bikes Deep Roots. Is that what it's called?
Something
Yes.
Deep Roots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deep Roots,
Look
yeah.
at that.
Something like that. Look up Roots. It's Roots. We did Masks 2044, which is superheroes and a lot of conflict and drama. And we also did Once a Hero Dungeons and Dragons Adventure. Really great games. So go check those out.
Thanks, Zach. Fiona, if people wanted to go check those out, where would be a good place for them to do so?
Well, right here on YouTube. That's where all of our VODs
No
are.
way.
No, I know, right? Spooky. So yeah, watch the end of this live stream and then go see they've got some really cool playlists with all the stuff in, so you can go check that out. But obviously, if you want to come and like, gosh, I like the visuals, but actually I just want to hear audio. Why? We've got a podcast as well. So go check out the podcast where we're all getting up to date. As we usually wait till the end of the series before we upload all the episodes. So Urchins is currently not up there, but go check out all the ones we sort of talked about just now. They're all up on our podcast as well. And yeah, and then we'll just go over to some Patreon stuff, which will be very exciting. So
Lovely.
yeah.
Would you like anyone to roll? Can I roll? I would like to roll.
Yeah, you roll.
You roll. It's going to be a D20, Shamini.
Oh, I've got one. I've got a lot of those.
And
fun,
re-roll. Let's say
Lisa.
re-roll the ones. Let's go
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, no one wants one.
Number one's
Ooh,
one.
I got a 5.
Five.
Fine.
We've got Dan Anderson. Anderson.
Ah,
Anderson.
we need to find somewhere in the world of urchins to put Dan
Here-
Anderson.
Here's my pitch.
Yeah.
I think Dan Anderson is the writer of the pigeon breeding book.
Yes.
Oh, he's the
Yes.
nerdiest.
He's the
The
nerd.
That's
nerdiest
very
pigeon.
They are the nerd that's done that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You pull out, there's like
Yeah.
a dust jacket with their
Absolute
image on.
pigeon nerd.
And there's
Yeah.
like a
That's very
big.
good.
Oh my gosh.
on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
can we please imagine a world in which, like, he was so close to publishing The Origin of the Species just
Just
before
with the
Darwin did.
pigeons.
Like, they were, but truly just through pigeons.
Yeah,
He was,
they didn't
he-
even have to
all
go
the
anywhere.
same theories,
Eagle
all of that.
Schmiegel. Yeah.
He had it, and then like
In the
literally,
pigeons, Darwin.
like
Come
a
on.
week before it was about to get published, Darwin rushed out
Yeah.
Origin, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck."
Amazing.
Darwin got
Good.
wind and rushed out
Yeah.
Origin.
Which, to be fair, is actually kind of what happened. But anyway,
Amazing. All right.
Lovely.
I'll get another d20 from someone, please. Just re-roll the ones.
Okay. Is everyone happy for me to do?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
That's a 5.
I'll re-roll the 5. We've already had 5.
Okay, that's
Dana's
a
in second
19.
volume. 19. 19. Oh, it is. Nicholas Munro Turner.
Lovely
Ah,
Nicholas Monroe
Nicholas
Turner.
Monroe Turner.
Yeah.
Ooh. You nicked the good one, Fiona.
I mean,
Very
I mean,
good
there
one.
could
I
be
like that a
someone
lot.
else that's another orphan that's gonna appear or something. I don't know.
No, because
Maybe Nick is the person you went into at the beginning, Zach. Like you fought with them.
Oh, that I bumped into and
Foppish
had a
person,
big
yeah.
argument with. Yeah,
wasn't that someone from last time though? Wasn't someone from last time
Maybe-
the person that you
Oh,
wanted to
maybe.
meet?
Yeah.
Possibly.
We're running out. Oh
I
no.
think Nicholas Monroe Turner has to be an unnamed member of Tanner's gang.
Ooh,
very good.
very
I like
nice.
that.
You two four.
I like how none of us
unnamed.
wanted to make the patrons some of the house staff. Not because
Just
that
working
feels
in
like
the garden
first
out back,
thought.
being like, oh, sounds like
What's that noise?
Yeah.
something's going on in there. Oh well.
Is it my friend to answer the door? No, I don't think it is. It's somebody
Yeah,
else.
I
No,
don't-
not it.
What's
Not
that?
it. Just
I
Yeah,
Or-
someone just like,
Alt pitch for Nick is they are the neighbor of
Yes.
Miss Edelwick from last time,
Yeah.
who, as Will fell down at the back, kind of opened a window and went, "Oi, get out of me!"
Classic.
Yeah.
You got it. That like that's another good trope. You got to have someone yelling angrily
Yeah.
out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Necessary. Wonderful. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much to all our patrons. Patreon.com/RPGeeksDND is where you can find out what kind of nice stuff you can get there. And excitingly, I think we're going to record a little bit of an extra something, a little post-show dissection right now. Here at the halfway point of our series. So become a patron if you want to see that. Exciting RP Geeks news. Well, we're back next week at the same time, same place.
Do you want to do this?
No, I wasn't going to do that. But
Great.
you can guess what that is, and some of you, I think, already have.
Ooh.
But who
Oh, I'm
knows?
very excited.
No.
Theories.
What I was going to say is we got nominated for an award.
Yeah.
For another award.
How exciting!
So earlier, a few months ago, we got nominated for award at the New Zealand Webfest. And I've recently discovered, but not yet posted, that we were also nominated at the Apulia Webfest.
Yeah. With all the blues. So there you go.
For, yes, Orbital Blues Black Star, which is a 4-part series GM'd by Mr. Edward Spence, featuring Emily, Fiona, myself, and guests Super Dylan and Draconics. So go check that out.
Both
So
on
that-
podcast and video now. See?
Yeah.
Ooh,
What a treat!
what a treat. Watch
Yes.
it twice.
Maybe both
Get
at the
it
same
downloaded.
time.
Nominated
multimedia.
content,
Ooh.
double award nominated content.
Yeah.
That's very happy, and I'm going to make some nice pictures and brag about it on social media. So if you're not following us on social media, go and do so.
Yeah.
Is there anything I've forgotten before we say
I think-
goodnight?
I think that's everything. I mean, just a big round of applause to Shamini Bundell for dealing with splitting of the party several times, doing an amazing job.
notes. I might at some point let the patrons in on some of my notes.
Yeah.
They'll
Oh,
just
you
like,
have to.
oh no,
Yeah.
help. What? Bloody hell. What do I do? Cooing.
Circle,
Just really good, really
cooing,
important
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Would it be easier if I just killed them all?
Yes.
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 We do.
Kill Urchins, question mark?
Or Urchins reboot? Question mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Urchins, next generation.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Next, more easy to deal with generation.
So why did I agree to Will being able to just see powers through his
Everything
head?
that he wants.
Yeah.
Pigeons, do
I'll
everything
just be
he
reading letters through my head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Classic.
do his head.
That's what we all do.
I've had a wonderful, if warm, evening. Thank you all for joining us wherever and whenever you are. And we shall see you back again next time for chapter 4. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.